It was 11:47 p.m. when Andrew's phone rang. He wasn't expecting a call this late, and the number was unfamiliar. A telemarketer at this hour? Unlikely. Hesitating for a moment, he answered. "Hello?" he said, his voice uncertain. A faint, shaky voice on the other end whispered, "Don't go outside tonight." "What?" Andrew asked, now wide awake. "I'm serious," the voice continued. "Don't go outside. Lock your doors and windows. Don't even peek." "Who is this?" Andrew demanded. The line went dead. Andrew stared at his phone, his heart pounding. He chuckled nervously, convincing himself it was some prank. He locked his front door anyway and pulled the curtains shut. By 12:15 a.m., Andrew was trying to distract himself with TV when a soft knock came at his door. It wasn't loud, just a light tap, tap, tap. Andrew froze. His house was in a quiet suburban neighborhood, and visitors at this hour were unheard of. Tap, tap, tap. He stood up, heart racing, and approached the door cautiously. Peering through the peephole, he saw nothing, just the dim glow of his porch light, illuminating the empty front step. "Hello?" he called out, his voice trembling slightly. No answer. Andrew sat back down, trying to calm himself, when he heard it. Footsteps on the gravel path outside his living room window. They were slow, deliberate, crunching under the weight of someone heavy. He muted the TV and strained his ears. The footsteps stopped, and a shadow passed across the edge of his curtains. He grabbed his phone and called the police. 911, what's your emergency?" the operator asked. "There's someone outside my house," Andrew whispered. "They're walking around." "Is your door locked?" "Yes." "Stay on the line. Officers are en route." Andrew stayed on the phone, gripping a baseball bat he'd grabbed from the hall closet. The footsteps started again, this time circling the house. Suddenly, the power went out. His house plunged into darkness. The only light came from his phone's screen. "Sir, are you still there?" the operator asked. "Yes," Andrew whispered. "Stay calm. The officers are almost there." Then he heard it. A low, raspy breathing just outside the living room window. It was so close, it felt as if whoever was out there could hear his heartbeat. A loud bang rattled the front door, followed by silence. Andrew held his breath, gripping the bat tighter. Then a voice, deep and guttural, spoke from the other side of the door. "Andrew." He froze. "Let me in." His blood ran cold. Whoever it was knew his name. "How do you know my name?" he shouted, trying to sound braver than he felt. The voice chuckled, a hollow, chilling sound. "We've met before." Red and blue lights flooded the front of Andrew's house as the police arrived. He ran to the door, throwing it open to greet the officers. "There was someone here," he stammered. "They knew my name. They were outside." The officers searched the property but found no one. No footprints, no sign of forced entry. Nothing. One officer handed Andrew a folded piece of paper they'd found on his porch. It read, "You didn't recognize me, but I'll come back when you're alone again." Terrified, Andrew spent the next day trying to remember if he'd crossed anyone or made an enemy, but nothing came to mind. He barely slept that night, his bat by his side. Over the next few days, things returned to normal, until Andrew started noticing strange things. His car keys weren't where he'd left them. Doors he'd closed were slightly ajar. And then, one night, he found a photograph on his kitchen table. It showed him sleeping in his bed, taken from inside his room. Andrew's hands shook as he flipped the photo over. Scrawled on the back were the words, "You should have stayed outside." That night, at 11:47 p.m., Andrew's phone rang again. He hesitated but answered. "Hello." The same faint, shaky voice whispered, "I warned you." Andrew turned to look at the window, and this time, he didn't just see a shadow. He saw a face staring back at him. The line went dead. And so, the story ends? Or does it? What would you do if you saw something strange in your mirror tonight? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this chilling tale, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more terrifying stories. And remember, never look into a mirror alone at night. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next nightmare.